Good day. My name is Susan Murabana. I'm excited to be part of the fifth Shaw-IAU meeting and to be presenting about the traveling telescope, a company I set up with my husband and business partner, Daniel Chu Owen. I'll share my slides. So the birth of the traveling telescope happened in 2014 after Chu and I met during an eclipse in Kenya. We both had a passion for astronomy outreach and were doing it separately in our different countries, me in Kenya and Daniel Chu in the UK. There was a need for us, as we saw, to share our interest in astronomy through views through the telescope, because the telescope has been around for more than 400 years, and yet so many people have not had a chance to look through one, especially in my country, and especially school kids. So we wanted to visit schools and villages, giving children a chance to look through a telescope and to explore the universe through the lenses. We also wanted to make it a storytelling kind of activity where we set up the telescope and talk about different things in the sky with our laser and pointing to objects and encourage questions and answer. The picture here is one I really like taken in the northern part of Kenya, a very remote part of the country. I really like it because even with the telescope and views through it, all the students in this picture looking up at the sky. So we feel like the telescope is a tool that we can use to inspire people to look up, especially kids, and wonder about what is up there. As we all know here, astronomy is a good tool to spark interest and curiosity and promote development through science. So we set up our telescope and invite students, especially in schools, to learn about the cosmos and look through images they've never seen. So who are we? We are a company registered in Kenya and dedicated to promoting astronomy tools and concepts. We have been in operation since 2014 as the Traveling Telescope. And basically what we do, we travel around the country, visiting schools and other public spaces with our telescope and our mobile planetarium. We've also received the Europlanet Award for Public Outreach in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. This award was a testament and a very powerful for us, because at the time we had stopped, we could not engage with our activities during the pandemic, and receiving the award was a strong reminder that what we do had an impact and was being appreciated. We've also been featured extensively in local and international media, and we are the youth partners of Airbus Foundation and Little Engineers. We've also partnered with Liverpool John Moore University, creating a moon app, and Edinburgh University doing outreach for the asteroid. We have personally visited more than 350 Kenyan school students and given them a chance to look through our telescope. The picture here shows so many children sitting around and waiting for a chance to look through our really small telescope. That was an exciting experience. It was very new in our traveling telescope journey, and it really made us understand the needs of what we wanted to do. This was a school in the western part of Kenya, where we visited with our small telescope and was surprised to get more than 1,000 students waiting to look through the telescope. Unfortunately or fortunately, it did rain and they did not get to look through the telescope, but we managed to engage with them with a cute question and answer session, and we managed to point at things in the sky. It was very cloudy, so not much, but the odd star here and there. We also sometimes use a telescope during the day to point at not things in the sky, but distant objects, and to explain the optics of the telescope. In addition to our telescope, we have a mobile planetarium that we take around to schools, and this complements the telescope. We have visited roughly an equal amount of school kids with the planetarium as we have with the telescope. What we do is we set up the planetarium in a school throughout the day and invite a class at a time for a session in the planetarium. The planetarium is a massive world that takes our students around a journey into space. They almost feel like they're flying by in space and visiting different planets and the moon. And we can zoom in and zoom out of these objects and talk about the science in a way that they can feel what we're talking about. We have visited both prep schools and high schools with the planetarium as we have with the telescope. Just before the COVID pandemic, we decided to build our own planetarium in Nairobi out of bamboo. The reason we chose to use bamboo was because of how good it is, a material for building, but also the fact that it's easy to regrow as a grass. We wanted to preach what we talk about and demonstrate that we are also at the forefront of protecting our planet by trying to come up with solutions that are not detrimental to our planet. The other reason is because it was affordable. Now, I'm happy to say that during the pandemic, we had the luxury of redesigning our bamboo planetarium, and now it's open. It's got a very unique design in comparison to the typical planetarium. We do get a lot of school visits. If the school would rather come to the planetarium than us visit the school, and members of the public were able to come with their children, including parties. As I mentioned earlier in my talk, we are the youth partners of Airbus Foundation, and we have visited quite a number of schools, more than 200 at the moment, providing a robotics program for them where they assemble a robot, launch it into space, try to charge it, and all this is done using a programming language. Some of the schools we visit are in really remote areas, and the students have never looked at or played with Lego or projects like this, or even used a computer before. But at the end of our 4-hour session with them, they're able to learn about these skills. As a traveling telescope, we've seen the value of this program in the sense that we're able to add a narrative to what we're trying to promote, not just the next generation of astronomers or astronauts or space scientists, but also people who are going to be part of the space industry, including engineers, data, IT professionals, communicators, designers, and this program has given the students access to space through this creative process. We also invite them to be part of a 3D modeling program using Tinkercad, again in support with Airbus Foundation and Beacon Engineers. We have run this project since 2017 and we'll be continuing with the next and last set of this program this coming year. In an effort to be sustainable, we do offer astrotourism events within the country by partnering with lodges and hotels to provide astronomy as an extra service for their guests. This gives us an income as a company, but also creates buy-in from our government, but also from the local communities. It also gives us access to some of the most forgotten schools where we can visit and provide our tools. We started the program a bit later, maybe 2015, 2016, and now it's grown, and we're able to access both international tourists through the partnerships and local tourists. It's important for us to have buy-in from our local communities in Kenya, and we have seen how much the interest is there, not just from schools, but also from parents who sometimes recommended that we go to schools. I now will play a short video about what we do.
For many curious young pupils, this is the first time they've had a chance to observe the mysteries of the universe up close. The older ones have read about the sun, the moon, and other planets in science class lessons, but here they're promised much more than that. Inside this dome, darkness and silence prevail. Gradually, the stars come out, the majestic moon with all its craters, a breathtaking Earth as seen from the moon, the indomitable Saturn. Students learn the wonders of the cosmos as if they were there.
I saw planet Jupiter. It was really interesting.
I thought scientists sometimes just make things up, but I've seen it in a way I've not before.
2 years ago, Kenyan astronomer Susan Murabana and her husband decided to travel the country, taking their telescope to tens of thousands of children.
In Kenya and in Africa, it's not well thought of as a career. I was lucky to meet a group of people who are doing outreach, and I fell in love with the science I once loved in school. And that's what I'm trying to expose kids to.
There's a growing focus on training the next generation of astronomers. These young men are at one of the country's main universities, where an astronomy program started a few years back now has 50 students.
I chose it because I liked astronomy, not because of the money I'm going to earn, but because of the feel that I'm going to live with it the rest of my life.
Evening brings out the moon and some planets at this rural school, and the students wait in line to stargaze. Some of the students here say it's amazing to be able to see so clearly what they've only read in textbooks. The idea is not just to encourage them to become astronomers, but also to help them appreciate the universe more. It's hoped the traveling telescope will reach as many children as possible across Africa, spreading the message of the cosmos and all that the science of astronomy has to offer. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Machakos, Eastern Kenya.
I think, and we think as a traveling telescope, that every child deserves a chance to look through a telescope and visit a planetarium at least once in their lifetime. I hope that through the support of the International Astronomical Union, Office of Astronomy for Education, and other partners, we can collectively realize this dream. Thank you.